Hey there, my name is Madge. Welcome to my garden here in the city of Pittsburgh. Today we are working with some cool flowers. I have a bunch of seedlings here and I want to try different ways of planting them to see if I can figure out what's going to help them get through the winter the best. I also am going to spend some time talking about gardening with chronic pain. I'm not particularly young and I'm not getting any younger, but that hasn't stopped me from growing tons and tons of flowers this season. So I wanted to share some tips that have helped me make the most of the energy that I have. I wanted to start by showing you these seedlings. They are big and strong, nice sturdy stems, but the color is not great. And there's tons of roots poking out the bottom. So they really need more nutrition is what that's telling me. So I think for the ones that look like this, my plan is to pot them up in bigger pots with more soil, let them hang out there for a couple of weeks, feed them a couple of times, and then I'll plant them out in the garden and we'll see if that gives them enough time to get established before the frost comes. While I work today, I wanted to talk a little bit about gardening when you have chronic pain. I have arthritis and I also experience vertigo sometimes. Super not fun, but I have found some ways to manage it that still let me grow and, more importantly, enjoy growing, and I wanted to share that with you today. The first strategy I use a lot is what you see me doing right here. I work while I'm sitting down. Whether I'm at this table or at one of my raised beds, I'm able to get a lot done without having to stress my body out too much. And there's no shame in it. I would much rather risk looking quote unquote lazy and get a million flowers than protect my pride or whatever and be flowerless. I also pick my moments. Right now I'm on the deck at like 6 p.m. and the sun's gone down and it's so much more pleasant than trying to do this at high noon. All right, there's a tray of snapdragons up potted. Two of them are the same varieties that I planted under the tree, Chantilly Light Salmon and Chantilly Bronze. And then one of them is Madam Butterfly Rose. I realized this season, especially in the spring, I really wanted more pink flowers. Pink is just like, it's the color that ties everything together to my mind. So I'm making an effort to plant more pink flowers for next spring. Morning, y'all. It's the next day and I am back at it. I think I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of zinnias today. First though, I'm going to harvest the last of these zinnias. I decided to pull these zinnias because they are really succumbing to the powdery mildew. You can even hear how crispy they are here. But there's no reason not to harvest the flowers first. The next step here is to chop back all of the plants and get them into the compost. After that, I'm going to be amending this bed and planting some more seedlings. Okay, this bed is clear now, except for one Mexican sunflower that's very big and about to bloom, and I want to see what it does. And here are our departed zinnias. Bye, babies. I loved growing you. It's hard to say goodbye to the zinnias, especially after we work so hard to get them. But there's something exciting about an empty bed. While I'm amending this bed with some really nice mushroom compost from the garden center, I wanted to talk about my next strategy, which goes hand in hand with gardening while sitting, and that is using raised beds. Using a raised bed makes it really easy for me to sit in a chair and work in these beds, and I can take my time. If I had to bend over or squat or kneel next to the bed and do all of this stuff, I wouldn't be able to do it for more than a couple of minutes, and I'd be rushing and I wouldn't be able to get everything done well. So the gardening chair plus the raised bed is an indispensable combo for me. The raised beds on the deck make it even easier. They are waist height, which means I can see everything that's going on in there. soil, pests, whatever. And it's super easy to tend them. You can see here, I am sitting in the shade, even though the bed is in the sun. I know that this bed gets a break from the sun in the middle of the day, and that's why I chose to work here at this time. Getting overheated can make my body feel way worse, so I try to avoid it when I can. Also, I take a lot of breaks. I figure out my priorities for the week, and I get everything done in small chunks. Sometimes I think in my videos, it looks like I work all day, and some days I do, some days I can. But lots of times I'm out here getting stuff done 15 or 20 minutes at a time. And you know what? That pushes things forward just as well as an all-out, all-day effort. There are a lot of tools that make things easier for me too. You see me using this Japanese hand hoe right here, and it is incredible. It breaks up the soil, it breaks up the roots, and it makes it so I can reach further than I could if I was just using my hands. There are a couple of other indispensable tools that you've seen me use several times as well. There's the hori hori knife, which can do just about everything. There is the bulb digger, which lets me dig holes while I'm standing using my body weight, and it's so good for breaking up clumpy soil. As is the edger. The fact that the blade on this is perfectly straight means it's a lot easier to get into compacted soil, and it's a little bit smaller and easier to work with than a typical shovel. I will link all of these tools in the description for you. Plus, I really try to have everything I need within arm's reach while I'm working. When we first started this garden, I found myself running back and forth all over the place because I had forgotten the knife or my gloves or whatever. Now I try to think through everything that I'm going to be doing, and I bring all the necessary gear with me. It is a very simple thing, but it saves me so much energy. All right, I got everyone planted in this side yard bed. Now I'm going to water them in with a special brew. These are the ingredients for the brew. You use a tiny bit of each, but they're supposed to make the roots be very happy in their new home. Plus, I meant to put some flower food in the soil before I planted the seedlings, and I forgot, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now before I water everything in. I'm going to sprinkle this flower food on the surface of the soil around the seedlings, and then use the hoe to scratch it into the surface of the soil, because otherwise flies are really attracted to it. Yeesh. Now I am watering in each of the seedlings with a special brew. I am really trying to hit the roots of each of these seedlings to sort of adhere those roots into the soil, and I'll come back and give it a good saturating water later. The next spot I want to work on is the crescent bed. There are some zinnias in here that are kind of ailing, so I want to get those pulled, get some compost in this bed, put some plant food in, and get a few more seedlings planted. I know a zinnia with powdery mildew hates to see me coming. I'm going to end up ripping out almost all of the zinnias on this end of the bed because they are in pretty bad shape and they're not really producing flowers anymore anyway. But while I'm doing all of this, I want to talk about a really big strategy that everyone seems to hate, but everyone also ends up needing sooner or later, and that is asking for help. For most of my life, I never really asked anyone for help. I felt like it was a kind of weakness, and if anyone did help me out, I felt like they were doing me a massive favor and I had to pay them back with my firstborn or something. But the truth is, a lot of people really like to help. I like to help people, don't you? It makes you feel good, makes you feel like a human being. Giving and receiving help strengthens the bonds between us, and that's kind of what we're built for. I am super lucky to have a strong and handsome partner who also loves the garden and is always happy to help me. I know not everyone has that, and you better believe I am grateful. But I have found that lots of people are more than willing to lend a hand, especially if there's a pretty bouquet or some sexy homegrown tomatoes for them at the end. So over time, I've learned how to not feel bad asking for and offering help. If someone says no, that's absolutely okay. But more often than not, people are really happy to lend a hand. Okay, I'm planting seedlings now, and you can tell from this footage that kneeling is not my favorite thing, but the kneeler that I am on makes it at least possible, if not super fun. You can also turn it upside down to use it as a stool, and it folds flat, so it's easy to take to someplace else that you might be gardening. For instance, I used it all the time when I was at the community garden. Again, I will link this for y'all in the description. At this point, we have almost all of our seedlings planted. The rest of them are pretty teeny, so I'm going to up-pot them and use them to fill in other spots over the next couple weeks. Gardening has helped me get better at pacing myself, being a little more patient, and most of all, giving myself grace. And honestly, that is the most important strategy of all. I can't be mad at my flowers for not growing when they don't have what they need to grow. And I can't be mad at my body for not being a perfectly productive machine all day, every day. I'm just a human being, a little baby animal like every other creature living on this planet, which means I have my own rhythms of work and rest and growth and harvest and lying fallow, and it's all okay. Some weeks that means looking at the garden more than laboring in it. It's never going to be perfect, and I'm never going to be perfect, but it can be beautiful nonetheless. The whole point of gardening and of life, maybe, is to enjoy the process. And I deserve that, and so do you, my friend. Thanks as always for spending some time with me this week and listening to my thoughts and looking at my flowers. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow along, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.